Hello, my name is Matthew, and I have the privilege of being paid by Ericsson to make the world a better place through open source. And for that, I am incredibly grateful. I would like to discuss today, in order to celebrate Trace Compass's 9.0 release, what an experiment is. So let's first look at the problem. You have a user space trace and a kernel trace that are done on the same system at the same time. A lot of people will say, hey, I have my user space trace. Why can't I see what's going on a resource level? Or, hey, I have my kernel trace. Why can't I see what's happening in the flame chart? Well, the kernel does not have information that can populate a flame chart. The user space trace does. But the user space trace does not have information to populate the resource view, and the kernel does. So now, one thing that we can do is make an experiment. That would be a special kind of trace, which is an aggregation or a set of traces. So it has all the events of both traces, and you can open it like that. It's very simple. You right-click on a folder, a common folder, generate experiment. Let's say you have an experiment and you want to add a trace. You can always go and select traces here. So now, you see that you have both your user space, or your kernel trace here, which will populate your resources view. And even here in your histogram, you can see both the kernel trace and the user space trace. And you can see the spin-up time of the user space trace before it got to really having events. Then you can have your flame chart right here. So let's put them side to side so that we can compare them. Now you can see what's going on both sides. But in the immortal words of Billy Mays, there's more. If you look at your resources view now, you actually have annotations whenever there's a user space event. So you could see when your user space tracer has had events. And in your Incubator flame graph, you can see the kernel status of the thread that you're looking at. This truly is one of those really cool occurrences where the sum total is greater than the sum of the parts. Because with this, I can go here and see, oh, we have no events here. What's going on? Well, we're stuck in the kernel. And even better, I'm going to press the arrow to navigate, and we can see here, I will enlarge, that we have a BRK operation here. Now I'm going to load up some symbols so that we can see what's going on. You can see that we have an XN realloc. But what's really cool is now you can see that there's a BRK event, so you could see your memory being allocated at the kernel time. And you can get more confirmation of what's going on. Not only that, you can navigate to know when you're being interrupted by a system call. Now, this was a short demo, but I think that it shows why we would want to have experiments. You basically can bring in data sources from different types and aggregate them together. Thank you very much. I hope that all your problems are shallow when you trace them well.